This is Mark Summers, and I double dare you to listen to the 3CT podcast.
Win for both brands. A bigger win for TNA. But
that'll be something neat we can maybe talk about next Thursday. Is the TNA NXT? Oh yeah, it is in 2 days. Is the TNA NXT deal more, less, or as exciting as the TNA AEW deal, and why?
right.
And I think it's going to go back to me not watching a ton of AEW anymore.
But NXT WWE is doing so much more with TNA already.
Do you feel the same way, Tim? Like there was a decent amount. I mean, with Christian Cage and Kenny Omega, it feels like the players with AEW and TNA were a little higher elevated on the card than we're seeing with NXT and TNA. I mean, Joe Hendry's their champion, so maybe it's just a different era for TNA. But I
think that's what the big issue. I think that's what the big conversation point is that WWE is using all of TNA's biggest stars, and WWE is not reciprocating.
What has WWE given back, right?
Correct. Like, you're sending over the no quarter catch crew. You're sending over...
I mean, they're wrestling the Hardys now. That's the team wrestling the Hardys tomorrow.
Right.
Right?
Today.
Okay, no quarter catch.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. It's Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne.
Oh, is that? Oh, I thought it was Catch Point or something like. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no quarter catch crew is Tavion Heights, Miles Bourne, and Charlie Dempsey.
Okay.
Yep, and I think I'm trying to remember who the lady is. Ren Sinclair.
Me llamo es Ren Sinclair.
That's right. WREN Sinclair. But welcome to 3CT on a Tuesday. Ryan, Mark, myself, Tim. No Jim, no Matt. No problems. No worries.
That's right. We're pressing on.
You should have heard Ryan before the show read the riot act to somebody. It was that's the $100 Patreon tier, so to speak. You slip me, you Venmo me a cool $50, and I'll tell you everything Ryan said.
I was hot. Honestly, podcasting has absolutely taken my mind off of it, and it was a great outlet for me. So I appreciate having the outlet. I appreciate the folks that tune in and reach out, not only live on Thursday, but do take value and enjoy the podcast on Tuesdays as well, because it is something, and it's a moment for us at the very least to just unplug and bullshit with some friends. That's what this is about.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Tuesdays are absolutely our vanity project.
100%. And if nobody listens, that's fine.
Yeah.
I need this so much sometimes. Having a week off, I needed it even more.
Oh man, I didn't realize how much I needed last week off.
Did you really?
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's been tough on your boy lately. Just going through stuff and things. Nothing terrible, nothing like world altering before, but
but it doesn't
it's
have
good
to
to recharge. Yeah, like I'm at the point now where like I am just trying to find my daily peace.
I get
Not Larry peace, but like turn it the other way. The other way you just flip me off this way. Yeah. This is fuck you in England.
Is it really?
Yeah. And this is victory.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
I've not actually been to an indie wrestling show. I've not seen Larry in a while. I know he's been working with 3LW.
Mm-hmm. Getting around.
I've just not gone to an indie show in a bit.
I haven't either.
Are we in March? No, we're not in March yet, are we? No.
Today is February the 25th.
It feels like it's February the 75th.
February
for being the shortest month is always the coldest, the grayest, and I fucking hate it.
Dude, it's bad. But at least the days are getting longer, Smokey.
Yeah, I was about to say.
They are. I'm seeing that from the window at work. That it's not blackout when I'm done, which is nice. We're getting there.
It is very nice. We are catching along. We're catching the Gulf Stream and we're sending it. But yeah, man, just trying to find my daily peace. I've been watching a lot of like on-demand TV lately.
Okay.
I caught up on Dexter Original Sin.
Okay.
It's a new series for the Dexter franchise. And I've actually been watching a lot of... Now, Mark is going to get excited, but then I'm going to have to quell his excitement.
I am excited.
I've been watching a lot of Matlock lately.
Matlock.
But not the Andy Griffith Matlock.
Oh.
The new one with Kathy Bates.
It's so good.
I've not seen it. I enjoy Kathy Bates' work. She's a great actress.
She is fantastic. And John Ritter's son.
CBS, right?
Yep. And if you have Paramount Plus, it streams on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, little John Ritter Jr.
Yes. Ritter Jr.
Recently, the end of Cobra Kai, I think, just dropped on Netflix.
So on the Netflix.
I still have to finish that. I picked up watching Tacoma FD on Netflix. That is from the what the hell is their gimmick? Is it the Broken? No, not the Broken Skull. What the hell was their name? The Super Trooper guys.
Oh, something donkey, something.
Is it? What the hell was it called? I forget. Yeah, I forget what their little comedy troupe's name was.
I'm looking it up.
Some banana, maybe?
I'm looking it up.
Banana Splits.
Broken Lizard.
Broken Lizard. I was close with Broken Skull. All right, I wasn't too far off.
No, you weren't. You were in the ballpark.
But it stars Kevin. What the hell was his name?
Bacon.
Favre.
Farva.
And the other dude, Steve. I forget his character's name in Super Troopers. God darn it. But yeah, pretty funny show about a fire company out in Washington. Sam Shaw actually was on an episode season 4, I think. The old Dexter Loomis had a cameo on one of those episodes. But fun, stupid show, like 22 minutes, an easy watch before you go to bed. Like 10 or 12 episode seasons. Stupid little comedy. So I'm gonna wrap that up here soon. But yeah, man, that's I feel like that's February.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how they announced, I guess, Stranger Things. I think they might have finally announced a date for that to come back.
I think they did.
I think it's November of this year is going to be part 1. I think it's a 2-parter. Each episode's about a fucking movie length. It's going to be
Stranger Things season 5.
Mark, have you ever gotten into Stranger Things?
My children have watched it, and I caught bits and pieces. And it seems like something I would really like, but I have not gotten into it yet.
Timepiece wise, again, I think you're right with Jim that you'd fall right into the timepiece that the show is portraying. I think you would really enjoy it. It's a bit sci-fi, a bit horror adjacent.
That'd be all right.
I think you would enjoy it
at this
quite
time
a lot.
Of year.
Maybe they didn't announce the actual date. I know there was talks about it.
The first trailer.
Is that
for
what
season
happened?
5
Okay,
came out.
all right,
Yeah.
Very exciting. I feel like every time, because it's like 2 years in between seasons, that every time a new season drops, I mentally have to go back and like, where do I want to rewatch this from? And it's always from season 1, episode 1. So I feel like by the time it's finally over, I will have watched it 5 times, or at least season 1 5 times through,
right?
To actually get to it, because there's so much backstory to it. But it's a great written show. It's not too late to join it because it's not off the air yet. So if you've never watched it, start episode 1, season 1 now, and you'll probably be ready by the time season 5 finally rolls around.
You should be. I'm probably going to wait until it's all together, like it's all done.
Have you watched any of it?
No.
No. Oh, Tim. Oh.
Tim.
Nah.
Spoiler alert. No, I'm not going to do that.
Nah, it's okay.
It's probably the smartest thing to do, knowing how much time I've invested having to rewatch fucking episodes. It's great. It's a great, well put together show. You're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I hope so. I did go see Captain America: Brave New World.
Ooh, yes.
Is that where he discovers America?
Kind of, I guess.
He discovers the Gulf of America is what it is, right?
Yes.
He's stuck in the Gulf of America.
Gulf of America, that's right. But it's fun. I thought it was fun. I don't think it deserves all of the negativity that I've been seeing about it. Maybe because some people aren't ready for a black Captain America.
That's 100% what the problem is, Tim.
I hate it. I hate
that
everything.
Sounds about white.
Yep, you said it. Great analysis.
Yes.
Great analysis.
Great question.
Great
question. Speaking of great questions, when was the last time you guys went on any sort of like long distance, or I wouldn't even say long distance, but like what you would consider a quote unquote road trip?
Oh, that's a great question.
Well, let's lead off. How long does a car ride need to be to breach road trip status?
See, I don't think it's a distance thing.
It's a time thing?
I don't even think it's a time thing. I
Smokey.
think it's I go to the beach sometimes every other week. That's a 3.5-hour drive. To me, that's not a road trip. I make that trip often.
Right.
So, but to somebody else, a road trip might be a trip to the beach because they don't make that trip twice a month.
Right.
So to me, it would have to be over that. So I would say a 4-hour trip because that is beyond that beach bubble for me. Depending on, unless it's July traffic and you sit, then the trip to the beach from Lancaster is about 4 hours.
Right.
But normally I can make it in about 3.5. So I'd say 4 hours would be my road trip bubble beyond that 4-hour mark.
Or a trip that involves a stop at the gas station.
That's a fair point.
That's fair too.
Now, Mark, sometimes that is your trip to Roots if you don't plan correctly. Is that right?
Correct. Yes. If I'm not careful, that involves a trip to the gas station.
You always know the gas is cheapest by Roots.
Yes.
I don't want to give credit where credit's due, but where's gas sitting at for you boys right now?
Don't even know.
I
work from home.
Yeah.
I work in my own half from home, so I don't even really pay attention. I think it was 340 something this week.
It's 290 something here.
Really?
Yeah.
Now you're in Maryland, right? Or is that Delaware pricing?
Maryland.
Okay.
Because Pennsylvania is the taxes on the gas.
Yeah,
Maryland and Delaware always skews cheaper, although Delaware has caught up significantly to some of the Pennsylvania taxes. But here's the thing, and not even to make it political. What the fuck am I going to do? I need gas to go places.
Gotta pay.
Yeah, you're gonna do it, right? You're going. If it's $8 a gallon, I'm gonna fucking put gas in my car and go where I need to go. That's the game. They have me literally over a barrel. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Walk places? Buy a fucking scooter?
Yeah. You're just gonna cut back somewhere else, is what you're gonna do.
You're damn right. I'll just DoorDash less, or I will eat in a little bit more, or I will cut max because I have places I have to go.
Right. It's weird because I was having this conversation with somebody else. It was like that. A retractable scratchy stick.
Telescopes.
Oh, man.
Oh, it gets way down there.
Oh, you've had to hit a button. No, we were talking about this in regards to like prices, like the cost of things going up, and like after a certain bit of time, after you've paid the price and you've proven that you'll pay the price, there's no incentive for anyone to bring that price down again.
Correct.
Because you've already established that for the last 6 months, 9 months, a year, that you're willing to pay this higher fee or higher cost of things because you have to. And there's no incentive on the person providing the good service or to drop the price after the public has proven that they will pay whatever stupid cost it is to get your stupid thing.
I mean, I'm 40 years old. I've seen gas ebb and flow plenty over the years.
It'll never go back to under $1, though.
I mean, COVID was the closest thing, 2020, when people literally had nowhere to go. And people were just not purchasing fuel, that like the surplus began to build, and that drove prices down. Like it's simple economics that when people aren't buying, surplus will build, and when surplus builds, they need to get rid of it and they'll sell it at a lower cost. Like that's how that will work. But I mean, you can boycott purchasing. You can have a blackout day where one person and we make a small splash of like not purchasing gas this Friday. Okay, nobody does it. But if I need gas on Friday, I'm going to just fucking buy gas. And if I participate in this boycott Friday, I'll just have to buy gas on Saturday, and the company's still going to get my money irregardless. So like, big oil's too big to fail, unfortunately. They literally have you over an oil barrel. What are you going to fucking do?
Swim out?
Right.
Try to?
Right, what am I going to do? Right.
Start drilling in your backyard, Smokey.
Am I going to fucking jog to the store and carry multiple arms just full of bags back to my... Well, no, I'm not.
Yep.
And that's just to the store and back.
Right. And you live, like, I don't know
buy
if
a fucking e-bike, bring, with my little e-bike, my little battery e-bike. No, I'm not going to fucking do that.
No.
Do you have an e-bike, Smokey?
I don't. I used to have a scooter. I had a scooter for about a year and a half, and then I bought a motorcycle. But actually, I had a little 200cc scooter, a little Vespa type thing.
Nice.
It was great. I mean, you could put. It took like a gallon and a half of gas, and you could drive that fucker for like 3 months. It was a little scooter. I mean, it maxed out at like 40 miles an hour. Just putzing around town, doing stupid little things. But it's impractical. You can't go to the store on that. You can't bring shit back.
Right.
You can go to the store and buy like a newspaper and a gallon of iced tea. Had a little compartment under the sink or under the seat. You'd put that. That's it.
Right. That's
you need gas, and that still took gas.
Right.
I'll be a gallon and a half. It still took gas. I like going to the beach. That ain't cheap. Yeah. There goes Ryan down for a fucking day and a half. Just come back the next day.
But it's worth it, right? Like going back to the conversation.
That's my time away. That is absolutely. I do that for mental health.
Yep,
right.
Yep. That's Smokey's mental health.
What is it's a personal cost analysis, right? Like what something is worth is what somebody will pay for it. And like, while I wouldn't necessarily do that sort of trip, I definitely admire you having like your place of zen, and by absolutely no circumstances are you ever not going to make that trip unless for whatever reason that destination is gone, which highly unlikely.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, this ties back right back into ticket prices for WrestleMania. Last year we all went to WrestleMania, 2-day tickets. plus hotel and gas and everything. I mean, it was probably easily, it was $1,000 weekend. Easily. To drop $1,000 for a weekend of professional wrestling and hanging out with your buddies and cheesesteaks in Philly. And I mean, we took in the NXT show, the hotel. I mean, hotels aren't cheap. This easily $1,000. Cost analysis, it was worth it for Ryan. Absolutely. It was a great time. Somebody that's not a wrestling fan, they would never consider spending $200 for the weekend that we had because it's just not their thing. So that's fine.
But those same people would spend. Everybody has their own WrestleMania. Right?
Bingo. Yep. They go to the Comic-Con and spend that money at a hotel and they're fucking everything there. Right.
They go to Comic-Con. They'll go to Lollapalooza. They'll go to
on his bird watching tour now.
Right. You know, he
loves birds.
A part of the what's the Audubon Society?
God, why does he love birds so much?
I don't know.
He's a big fan.
Because they got little feet. It's because they got little feet.
Right, but everybody has their Zen moments and spots,
and what they'll pay for.
It doesn't. Those moments are rarely free.
No, absolutely. And like lately, I think that's part of like where I'm at myself is like trying. We've completely strayed off of what we were going to talk about, but I find this conversation way more interesting than what is your favorite road trip snacks. Maybe I'm going to use this as like a therapy session here, but like lately over the last like month or two, I have been trying my best to find joy in the things that I used to get joy from. Like wrestling, like I love wrestling. And I'm not saying wrestling doesn't love me back, but I don't know if I love wrestling or I'm not in love.
Yeah.
And like it's not a pounding, like a bleeding heart for it. Same goes with like TV and movie. I used to go to the movie theater all the time. And now I can't even get there like twice a year. Yeah. And it's like trying to find what like intrigues me or what lights me up. And I don't know if it's
let's talk movie theaters for I think it's a great one. I think a movie theater is a great escape from your reality from a day to day. What do you think is your roadblock to preventing that? Is it a lack of interest in movies in the moment? Is there nothing good to watch? Is it you don't have the time or the desire to get up and actually go out of the house to a movie theater? Did they tear your movie theater down in E-Town and you can't make it anymore?
Right.
They tore it down. Now they just replaced it.
I think what part of it is that like I blame a little bit of it on COVID.
Okay.
Because it went from things that I would have seen in the theater to now like, oh, I'll just wait for it to come out on streaming.
Yep.
And that's how movies are now too, where they're in the theaters for like a month. And if you wait like 6 to 8 weeks, that movie you spent $20 on to go see in the theater, you now get with your subscription to Max, Disney Plus, Netflix, whatever. Right? Part of it too, and like I'm not pointing the finger, I love my wife. My wife is not a big moviegoer.
Got it.
And so I feel bad going to see a movie that I think she would enjoy. So I like purposefully don't go, or I bend her wrist and make her go, or try to make her go, convince her to go. But I also think the other part of it too is just like, I don't know if there's that many movies that are coming out in theaters that I had the same excitement for back when I was going to see movies all the time.
Got it.
So it's like a mixture of things too. And also I'm getting older. Like I'm worn down. Like I gotta find a way to get excited again. Like,
I use that excuse a lot too, and I'm gonna quantify that statement here in a second. That I'm getting older, and I'm too old for that. And then we need to look at the gentleman right below us that is outaged both of us.
and
That
he's going to Young Gravy
he's
concerts.
going to Young Gravy concerts. He is he's at a different flea market every other day, plus multiple trivias, plus a full-time job where he works more than 40 hours, plus balancing 2 kids and still making it.
2 puppies. And
right.
That's
so
actually...
I hate to be that way. Like, I have leaned into that, and then I realize that's just an excuse. And then I have to ask myself, like, what would Mark do? And then I'd be like, Mark would go to that concert. Mark would put his pants on and leave the house and go to Roots Market for some vegetables after work if he didn't make it in the morning. That's exactly what Mark would do. And I have had to remove that excuse from me. And I've 2 years ago, I think I even talked about it on the show, I've made like a conscious decision that I wanted to do things. Life's too short. I don't need things. I want to do things. I want to create experiences with friends, family that I love, friends that I love, that I want to do things with. I want to cross things off of bucket lists. It's stupid. We've talked about going to Punxsutawney for a Groundhog's Day. That's still something I really fucking want to do.
I really want to do it so fucking bad.
There's no reason. We are fucking adults. There's no reason we shouldn't.
There's nothing stopping.
There's nothing stopping us
air
but
and
ourselves.
Opportunity, baby. There's nothing between us.
There's nothing between us.
Right.
But excuses. I've realized that I've allowed excuses to creep in more and more. And it's an age thing. It is. I'm fucking overweight. It's a ton of things that in my mind, there's 101 reasons. And I literally stop and say, Mark would not use this as an excuse. He took me to a fucking a Flow Rider concert. We were like the oldest 2 people. It was at the York College. We were surrounded by York College students. Had a great fucking time. A concert that I shouldn't have had as much fun with, and I would have easily just not gone had Mark not been like, "Do you want to go see Flow Rider, Smokey? Let's go see Florida."
That was a blast.
That's all it took. It was an absolute blast. Who's going to be here this year, Mark? We don't even know yet, do we?
We don't know. I've been watching, and they should be announcing it any day, but they haven't announced it yet. I'm trying to figure out who it could possibly be.
Right. And I want to ask though, because like this is something that like I've genuinely wanted to ask, but I'm gonna peel back the curtain just a little bit. I don't hate Mark as much as some people may think I hate Mark. It's what we like to call a bit. I'm the baby of the group. He's the old man of the group. The baby hates the old man for trying to be cool, right? And so like I give him shit, but really like I am curious, like, and feel free to like lean in, talk about as much or as little as possible, but where did you get, like, have you always had this, I guess the only thing I can call it is like a zest for life? Like, I
was gonna fucking say zest for life.
You actually like live your life. And is that something that like, was it something that you developed on your own? Was it something that you picked up from like your parents or your grandparents or like aunts and uncles or whatever? Or is it like what built like the person, the outgoingness, the outgoing nature of Mark?
Tim, I'm glad you asked. Well, it was something that I built, I would say. Let's see here. Probably, I was in my 30s. Not saying I didn't go out and do things before, but there was a period of time, probably late 20s, maybe early 30s, where I thought I was done going to concerts. Like I was just like, okay, I've been to a bunch of them, I'm done.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that's sort of timed around like starting a family. Like there's some timing in that.
Yeah, let's see, my son, I was 30 when he was born, and now I'm 50. So he just turned 20 last week. Holy cats.
Right.
But so after being happily divorced, the kids were spent time with their mother, and I didn't necessarily, they weren't here, and I decided I'm going to go out and do things. And I did. I went out and did things. I come home to sleep and take care of the pup at the time, little Kirby boy. And I just went out and did things. It was fun. And I did more. And then I realized that people think I got money, believe me. But I find like inexpensive tickets or, I don't spend a whole lot of money on the things I do in most cases. There are some like WrestleMania tickets. You didn't have a choice with that. But a lot of these concerts, Sometimes I'll wait till the day of and buy them. I've bought concert tickets to a show that I'm like sitting in the parking lot, and I'll get them cheap, and I go in and they're great seats. So
that's like one of the, not to cut you off, but like one of the best times I ever had is when I was younger. Like Marcus was my best friend. Marcus was living with me at the time, and it was a Tuesday, and it was back when we were living in Virginia, and we lived right outside of Virginia Beach, and SmackDown was in Richmond that day, which is about an hour and a half drive. And for whatever reason, we just turned and looked at each other and was like, do you want to go to SmackDown tonight? And you just instinctively, what's the cost of tickets? Find the tickets, buy the tickets, get in the car, print out the tickets, and just zoom right there, like not thinking, just doing. And I think that might be where I get in my head too, is like I overanalyze everything, and I'm just like, just do the thing, have the fun.
It's so easy to do that.
Just do it.
Last year, and this really put a lot in perspective for me. We ended up going down to North Carolina, me and my family. We got tickets to the concert for Carolina, which was a benefit for the floods that were happening in Western Carolina. This was down in Charlotte. I've never been to Charlotte before, but my brother ended up getting tickets for him and my niece first. And it sold out like instantly. And then they released another wave of tickets. And I said to my parents, I'm like, do you guys want to go? Like it's crazy, but tickets are like $55. So the ticket prices were right. And then it's like, there's going to be a ton of other fees. Like we're going to gas down to Charlotte. We're talking multiple hotel room nights, in and around the Charlotte area, food. And then it's like, fuck it, man. This is like a once in a lifetime concert.
Yep.
Now, like I could have seen these artists elsewhere, whatever, but like to be there for this moment, like it was a moment that I didn't want to miss because I had the opportunity to do it. I think much like you and seeing people die, Tim, you want to be there in the moment, and if you miss that moment, you just don't get that opportunity again.
Yeah.
So it really clicked. I think 2 years ago when I first saw like that Willie Nelson concert, it seemed silly. Tickets were $25 on the cheap. It's like, dude, what chance am I going to have to see Willie Nelson again? The guy's like 82, 83. I don't know how old he is, but like. This is he in his 90s?
I think he's 92 this year, 91 or 92 this year.
Like, you don't have many more opportunities to see this guy. Every single person in the world knows who Willie Nelson is.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a fan.
Be 92 at the end of April.
God, he's a legend.
And on tour this year.
He's on tour this year. Yep. Like, why wouldn't I for $25 go to see a legend perform one time? I ended up going 2 years. I'll probably go this freaking year. So I never thought on my bingo card I'd see Willie Nelson 3 times, but it's what I enjoy doing. Concerts are like my new happy place.
It's wonderful.
Unfortunately, I feel like I've substituted concerts for professional wrestling. And that's fine. I think I hit pro wrestling really hot. There wasn't a month that I missed going to 3 Legacies Wrestling. Plus, we started doing the Pro Wrestling Empire stuff. There was a time years ago where We were doing Atomic Championship Wrestling and LCW. We were down to MCW. Like we were making multiple stops to indie shows. So like that, I feel like I've moved on from, and I'm in this concert mode right now. Love to catch wrestling shows. Nothing more fun than catching wrestling with my guys. Absolutely. But I feel like part of me has replaced some of the real estate that was taken up by wrestling for concerts. And I really do have to credit Mark for that. The first concert I really saw, I mean, I went years without checking out a show, was the Guns N' Roses concert.
That was a blast,
and
too.
It was the same thing. This is Axl Rose and Slash and Duff, and that's the most of, I think, the original band that's touring that I'm going to have a chance to see. And this is a band that I should probably make a bucket list. I should fill out a list, like an actual paper list that I can hold and see. And these are people that I want to see that are still alive, that I have a chance to see, and I need to do what I can to cross these off, because that's important to me. So make a list. That's what I hope everybody takes out of this. Make a list of things that's important, remove the barriers, and go do things, man. You have one life to live. Even if it's like kind of expensive, let's find a way to do it, man.
Yep, do it.
I'd have loved to have seen Elton John. He was in Hershey like a year and a half ago. Didn't get tickets. Lost that opportunity. Done touring. Never again. Way to go, Ryan.
Thanks. Now, I'll defend you with the Elton John. The cheap seats, I'm talking top tier, were $400 without the fees. $400. That's a tough one to swallow.
It was $400 in the Giant Center.
Yeah,
that's a tiny venue for an Elton John concert.
Yeah, that's rough.
But at the time, though, like, and let's put that all into perspective. Like, hey, Devin, we're talking about wrestling here. The conversation of prices of smaller venues, right? Like, the part of why you would spend $400 to see Elton John in a 8,000 seat arena is because there's only 8,000 seats. It's a limited engagement.
I mean, 8,000 seats is no Chameleon Club or tiny club venue. Like, it is still it is a small arena, right? This is not as big as the Wells Fargo Center in Philly or any NHL level arena. The last shows of this Elton John tour, I think, was Dodgers Stadium.
Right. And I bet you that much like the Metallica show we're going to, you could find sub $100 tickets for the Elton John show. Why? Because there's 300 level seats available.
Ding.
You can get up there.
Right. Now imagine if Metallica, I think the cheapest Metallica ticket was like $55. That's get in. That's the upper level of, they're going to be at the Link in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
If Metallica does an arena tour and they end up at the Giant Center, you're not finding $55 tickets to Metallica.
You're doubling that price, probably.
The Giant Center easily. And it's just, you're in an arena, you are a smaller venue, you are closer because it's a hockey arena, not a stadium. The Hershey Park Arena, Park Stadium, I apologize, is a football field's length.
Madison Square Garden
is clearly a football field.
Yeah, Madison Square Garden seats 20,000 people. MetLife does 80,000 for WrestleMania.
Bingo. Right.
That's literally 4 times the number of people.
Right.
So you don't have to charge MSG prices for the MetLife.
Correct.
But you could.
Bingo.
And
it's all about what's important to you. I scored George Strait tickets last week. If you guys are country music fans, you would know George Strait is considered like the king of country music. He's the king of country. It doesn't get much bigger than George Strait. He's doing 5 shows.
After George Jones passed away, it went on to him.
George Strait, right. He is kind of that old troubadour of country music. Not to be cliche with the song that he sings,
Right.
but he's doing 5 dates: Philadelphia, Buffalo, New York. Boy,
probably somewhere in California
where the Patriots play. One other East Coast, Foxborough, one other East Coast, and then one West Coast date.
Yeah, so I'm pulling up the tour right now.
So those were, I mean, they were not cheap tickets. Those were like as much as a festival style for multiple days ticket would be. But it's important to me because how many other opportunities am I going to get to see George Strait? I don't want to miss this opportunity.
Yep.
I have to do it.
5 dates.
That's it.
Across the continental U.S.
Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. So they're playing. He's playing at Eagles Stadium, Steelers Stadium, Bills Stadium, Patriots Stadium, and the Rams Stadium in Los Angeles. He's playing the Link, Accenture, Highmark, Gillette, and SoFi. Right, SoFi. Okay, just to put it into perspective, Lincoln Financial Field has hosted a WrestleMania. SoFi Stadium has hosted a WrestleMania. So, like, that's the level of seats. And it's him and Chris Stapleton and either Parker McCullum or Lil Big Town.
Yeah, it's Parker McCullum, I think, for all of his East Coast, Little Big Town on the one West Coast date.
Yep. That's wild.
But Chris Stapleton's really good, too. I'm very excited for the show. And here's the deal. They were pricey tickets, and it's worth it to me. The end. It's that simple. Ticket fees be damned. What am I going to do? Not buy the tickets because Ticketmaster wants to charge an extra $35? Going to have to do it if I want to go to the show. Go right back to that gas conversation. What am I going to do? Not buy the tickets and miss out on something that's important to me because I have to spend an additional $35 per ticket for Ticketmaster fees. Well, you buy the ticket, what it is. You buy the ticket and you figure it out, right? If money's going to be a little tight, that's fine. Money's going to be a little tight. It's important to you.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I'm glad you're going.
So
I'm excited. We're going to go see AC/DC. That's a bucket list.
Never thought I'd get to see AC/DC.
Never thought I'd get to see
Where are they going to be at?
Your neck of the woods, Tim.
Yeah, Merlin.
Where?
Well, DC. Northwest Stadium, Northeast Stadium.
Oh, Cowboys or Commanders.
The Commander Stadium, yeah.
Northwest Stadium.
Is it Northwest? Okay, Northwest.
Which is the name of a bank.
Is that what it's named at? Northwest. Oh, okay. I thought it was just directions.
No.
So Northwest is a bank. Stadium. You live in Northeast.
Yes. Doxing.
Got it. That makes a ton of sense. Right. Northeast, Northwest. Right. My apology.
No, you're good. You're good.
Southwestern Airlines.
That's right. But like, so Mark, what since you live fully,
live your life. Hey.
Are there things that are like do you still have like bucket list items? Or because you live so like a la carte with your life?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Mothy. My bucket list is to sleep 8 hours tonight.
Woo! Oh man, bucket list items. I don't know if I necessarily seeing AC/DC would be a bucket list. I never thought the teenage Mark never ever thought he'd see Guns N' Roses because they were broken up. They were done.
Mm-hmm.
I've saw them 3 times now. Never thought that'd happen.
Right.
I'd love to go to Punxsutawney. That would be fun. Man, I don't know. I would. My loving children travel quite a bit. My loving daughter's in Europe right now. She's in Europe traveling. I don't know. I like the pictures she sent to me from Italy are incredible. I would love to do something like that. I don't see that happening soon.
Italy.
Oh, Italy. Got it.
Italy. She's over there in Italy. But it's like the picture she's at these places that you see in your history books, and she's standing from. It's insane. I can't even wrap my head around it. But Italy would be beautiful. Yeah, I'd like to go out west. I'd like to see the Grand Canyon.
Oh, yes.
That'd be fun. I'd like to see Mount Rushmore. I heard it's not much to see, though.
I heard that's a total dud.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, compared to other things in the Dakotas, it's probably pretty high on the list. It's the Dakotas; they don't have a ton going for them. But
that's.
I heard it's small. I heard it's not as big as the pictures present it to be.
Yeah,
and it's just like, oh, there it is on the side of a mountain.
Yeah, just kind of see it. Yeah, all right. Then you turn around and leave. No, I don't know. But there's something like, especially if it's something relatively local and I want to do it, I'm probably going to go. There's well, as a matter of fact, so last year I wanted to see Avril Lavigne, another person I thought would probably never tour around here. What she didn't really, she was in Virginia. It was about 3 hours away. Went to see her. Now she's coming to Hershey in a few months. So
it wasn't close in Virginia, right? It was Bristow, Virginia. Like it was
Bristow,
South Virginia.
Yep.
That was Tennessee.
Right, that was Jiffy Lube Live, Virginia.
Yeah, that was a really nice venue. I'll tell you what, it was a nice venue. It was terrible trying to get out of that parking lot, but great venue.
And actually, must have created Hershey's parking lot.
I think it was just as bad, if not worse.
Oh, wow!
It was rough. And Halsey's going to be there. Halsey.
I saw that.
I thought it was Halsey. It's Halsey. Halsey's going to be there, and I'd love to see Halsey there, honestly.
You could just go and see her in Camden.
Oh, she's playing Camden, too.
Yeah, she's
that any easier?
That's like an hour and a half away from here. It's just on the other side of Philadelphia.
Oh, it's just on the other side of 30.
Just right down 30.
All right, that might be better.
Right. It's right past right past Limerick.
That is my favorite Ryanism. That it's literally just right blank. Like it's just right down the street.
Right down the street, there it is.
3 hours later.
I caught a concert with a listener of the show, Charlie. We went down to Philadelphia. We saw Apocalyptica. I don't think he was a huge fan of Apocalyptica, but I think Apocalyptica put on a show and it kind of changed his mind about them. I was not a huge fan, or even I guess I was familiar with Nita Strauss. She was the guitarist for who the hell was she the guitarist for? Alice Cooper.
Yes.
Kind of doing her own thing. She was fucking phenomenal. Shredding on the guitar. Absolute fan of hers. So really cool. But Charlie was like, how do you fucking drive, man? Like, I will always volunteer to drive. I prefer to drive. I am a bad passenger. I am dog awful with directions. So I need somebody in the front to navigate. But I will get you there. But like distance to things, just on the other side of Philly. It's like Philly, Westchester, Lancaster. Like boop, boop, boop. Like in my mind, that's how it is. It's just right down the old turnpike. Boop, boop, boop. And apparently it was not. So that's on me.
And that's perfect for me. Like to me, that's perfect for somebody who wants to be a driver. Like be the person who's like, it's not that far. No matter where we're going, it's not that far. Get in the car. We're going. And then sure, it's far as shit, but
I hopped in that car early ass in the morning and I drove my family down to Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm like, that's not a super far drive. Let's just get in. Let's go.
9?
Right? It wasn't. I don't think it was 9. It's pretty far, though. Like, it was like, all right, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Maryland, Virginia, and then Virginia's forever.
Yeah, Virginia's rough.
And then I'm like,
you're going the long way, yeah.
I got to get gas. So we had to pull off in like Magatown, Virginia. And I had to fuel up because I was getting close. I didn't have a choice. But Virginia's nice. And then it was like, all right, North Carolina, and then you are a bit of a way through North Carolina. We're going to Tennessee this year as a family, and I fully intend to drive there. I love to drive. I really do. I have no problem driving. And usually just give me the GPS. I'll be fine. But if I don't have the GPS and you're the passenger seat, I expect you to know where we're going. That's all. Charlie got us there fine. We were there fine without problem. Found a great little pizza joint in Philly. Had some nice authentic pizza. Caught the show. It was really good. Mark, I think you would have loved them, man. I really do. I really think you would have loved that show.
I should have considered going.
they played nothing but Metallica songs. You would have really liked it. It was drums, 3 cellos, and that's it. You'd have thought you were listening to electric guitars the way some of their solos were. It was fantastic.
That's wild. Now, speaking of Metallica, they played at the old Hershey Park Arena in 92, I think it was, 92 or 91. Because I remember John Becker and I we just showed up. We didn't have tickets. We thought we could walk up and get tickets. And we got there late, and there was no tickets. They wouldn't even sell standing room. But we got in the arena, and we just bought shirts. But you could hear them from outside, but it was pretty cool.
Who were they with?
I don't even remember who the opener was. When I saw them in 94, they had Danzig and Suicidal Tendencies with them.
Oh, okay.
Suicidal
Tendencies are actually opening night 2 in Philadelphia. It's Suicidal Tendencies, Pantera, and Metallica night 2. I think the night we're going, it is Limp Bizkit. Who the hell's the other? Oh, Ice Nine Kills.
All right, let's talk about it.
I enjoy Ice Nine Kills. If you've not heard a lot of their stuff, it's harder, but I enjoy it. I enjoy some of their stuff.
I'm looking forward.
They have a song. What is it? Hip to be
Square.
Something. Yeah, it's a playoff of that.
So
my old
like
ass,
Metallica,
I wanted to launch Spotify, but I ended up launching the lottery app.
It looks like Metallica was at Hershey. You said Hershey Park Arena, right?
Yeah, the old arena.
So it looks like they were there in January of 93.
All right, that would make sense.
And you won't believe it, but Metallica actually has the set list.
What?
From on the Metallica website. I searched for the date.
Does it say who the supporting act was?
It does not. But I have the date. January 26, 1993. January 26, 1993, Hershey Park Arena.
Oh, it's got to be out there.
Yeah, it has to be.
I remember it was cold. I remember wearing my coat. So that checks out.
No opening act. I just saw somebody is selling a mint Metallica ticket from the Hershey Park Arena on eBay. And the concert is labeled An Evening with Metallica, no opening act.
Wow.
Interesting.
Is that Wherever I May Roam tour?
Yes.
Yeah,
so they went, right. They played Enter Sandman, Creeping Death, Harvester of Sorrow, Welcome Home Sanitarium, Sad But True, Of Wolf and Man, The Unforgiven, a medley from And Justice for All, Through the Never, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Fade to Black, Master of Puppets, Seek and Destroy, Whiplash. They did 2 encores.
Oh
they did a 5-song encore of Nothing Else Matters, Wherever I May Roam, Am I Evil, Last Caress, and One, and they closed with Battery.
Isn't that wild?
Wow. That list. Battery.
I was in the building. I remember we could hardly talk to the people selling shirts because it was so loud.
Oh, that I believe. That was an echoey building, too.
It's a true story. And I saw it was George Thorogood and the Destroyers and ZZ Top played in there. And I had ringing my ear for 3 days after that show. That's how loud it was. It just echoed. My ears rang for 3 freaking days.
I used to go to smaller venue concerts in college. I saw Andrew WK. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Andrew WK.
When it's a party, we will party hard.
And new metal band Il Nino.
Oh.
And I saw them up at Croc Rock up in Allentown, and the ceiling in that place was a 7-foot ceiling. It was not a very tall venue. It was very, very loud. I remember going back to my dorm, and my ears rang forever. I really, and I probably did damage my hearing, but I really thought like I severely hurt my ears that night. Almost to the point where I was like, I probably ought to get this checked out. It eventually like dulled, but it was probably 3-4 days. That was constant. I mean, it was so loud that night. I remember thinking, I'm never going to fall asleep with this ringing in my ear.
Oh, it's so bad. You're young, you don't really care, you don't think about it, but
no care at all.
Like I remember my ears when we went in there when they started playing and stuff. You feel your ears pop, and it's almost like a hum. You hear the music, but it's just almost like a hum.
An assault on your eardrums. Yep.
Oh, it's bad,
dude. To be young and dumb again, like I know that's hurt my hearing. I'm sure I'm going to need hearing aids. Like there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I said I'm going to need hearing aids.
What?
But I enjoyed my time there.
Yeah, it was a good time. Good memories.
That's all that matters, right?
I started taking earplugs then.
See, I know I fucking should. I can't be that guy. I don't want to be the earplug guy.
Oh, I don't care anymore. That depends. I usually take it. I don't always put them in if it's not too loud. But I saw Megadeth was there one time too. It was Megadeth and Korn. Korn was relatively new. And
that's Korn with a K.
Yes, Korn with a K. Megadeth was headlining, and I can't remember. There was a third one, a third band, and that was as loud as anything too.
And when was this?
This probably was 93 or 90. It could have been 94. I was at the Hershey Park Arena. Megadeth was the headliner. It may have been like the 99 Ways to Die tour or something like that.
Wow. So 95, they toured with Megadeth, Fear Factory, and Flotsam and Jetsam.
Really? Because Korn, I'm positive Korn was there with them.
Yeah, it's Korn, Megadeth, Fear Factory, and Flotsam and Jetsam.
Okay, Fear Factory sounds familiar. Okay, and Flotsam and Jetsam. All right.
Jeez.
Isn't that wild?
Wow. It is wild.
Hershey's.
It's crazy that you have. It's crazy that you have that such recall.
Yeah.
Like I've tried. I've tried to remember like the wrestling shows I've been to, and I can't. I can remember some of them, but all of them, it's borderline impossible. Like, I've been to a Thunder, I've been to like a couple of Nitros, like Raws, SmackDowns. I was at I think it was Great Balls of Fire, or no, it was Extreme Rules in Baltimore. I was there.
Oh, I said that too. I didn't even know you that, Timmy.
Yeah, that was the really good, the Bar versus the Hardys cage match.
We are the Bar.
I was there. I think they had two of them down there. So they had the one. Oh my God, I'm trying to remember what the main event was. I know the one had Stephanie against Vince, and that's when the Undertaker, I think, interfered.
So that was No Mercy 2003.
Okay, all right. The Extreme Rules, I think Sheamus was in that.
Yeah, so Extreme Rules. I'm trying to find the right day or right year. I'm flipping through 2017. Looking. The main event was Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Bray Wyatt in a fatal 4-way or a fatal 5-way to face Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire.
Oh, there was I think the other one I saw there had Batista against Cena in a last man standing match, and Batista lost. I think Cena taped his legs around the ring post and he couldn't stand. And then I think Batista quit the next night on Raw.
Yeah, that was an Extreme Rules as well. And that was which year was this?
2011, maybe.
It was in Baltimore. It was at the first Mariner Arena.
Yeah. Yep.
Which
That's
is the
right.
same. It's the same building, right?
Yep.
That you want to talk about a dilapidated building? That's the one.
I can't believe that thing's still standing.
That's the same. It's the exact same building that WCW ran out of in the 80s.
Yep, I saw WCW.
The Baltimore Arena.
Yep. They did. WCW used to come there a lot. They did pay-per-views there.
They sure did. They sure did. They've had a Great American Bash there, I thought.
Yeah, they have one of the Sting Ric Flair trilogies there.
I
think Sting won the belt from Flair in Baltimore Arena.
Not to change subjects here, Tim, but I was just scrolling on the Facebooks. Did you see the new WWE Superstars lineup that they're coming out with?
There's 4 fucking Mutas.
Isn't that unreal?
How is that possible?
4 different face paint Muta. There was a
4 different face paints, 2 different mists.
Yes, there's a green mist and a red mist.
And there's a white Muta, a red Muta, a green, and a black, I think, right?
It is a green and a blue.
Green and a blue. Okay.
Wow. Those are awesome.
And I think 2 of them are exclusives to a website called WrestlingShop.com. Yeah, I will never financially recover from this.
No,
they're going to get you.
Are fantastic.
There's already, so those are the Superstars lines that I don't dip my toe in.
But
because those are the figs that look like the old Hasbros.
No, these are not the Hasbro line. I think these are the old. What the hell?
They're not the LJNs.
No, it's not the hard LJN. The Hasbro ones are the other retro ones. These are the was it the AWA? Who was the one that put those?
Like the Galoob ones?
I thought Galoob was WCW.
Yeah. Galoob was WCW.
Did AWA have a line? They had like
NWA was
that San Francisco Toy Makers?
It may have been. I don't think it was Mattel, but they looked like Masters of the Universe figures. Like they were very muscular and very.
I think they're the Remco. The AWA.
Oh, Remco,
right?
Yep, they were Remco. Yep, that's exactly what they were. They used to have a ring with the steel cage and everything.
Yeah, they did.
And all their bodies were pretty much the same. Of course, the heads would be different, then they'd be painted different. But the bodies, if I remember, they were very similar.
I remember I had a referee AWA. I forget who it was, but yeah, those are cool vintage looks.
Yeah, that's
it's the same. It's the same lineup. I think I got the Ric Flair for everybody for Christmas. I think that's the same lineup, the Superstars line.
I like them. Those Hasbro throwback ones are nice, but they're just so expensive.
They're not cheap.
So going back to Muta, there's 2 Mutas that are ultimate Mutas.
Oh, there's more than the pictures that I sent?
Yeah, so they announced the original. So there's a chase and a regular of the ultimate series of Muta. And those are going to be like $35 a piece unless I spend the money on the aftermarket, which I'm going to have to. And I'm probably going to end up buying multiples of each so I can keep one in box and open one because I'm a degenerate. But I think that leads to like the overarching conversation of the entire podcast today, which is live, right? Pay the bill later. Handle what you got to do, live, and figure it out later, right?
Do what makes you happy. Find that what makes you happy. Remove the barricades that you've likely put up yourself.
Yep.
And do something that makes you happy this week.
Take those
report back
barricades
to us,
down.
man. Reach out to us. We got a Twitter account or an X account. Let us know, man. What
Thursday
did you
across
do?
the board.
What did you do this week that made you happy? We're not going to share, but just brag, self-brag a little bit. Put yourself over. That's fine.
We'd love to hear it, honestly.
We do. We really do want to hear it. Let's celebrate these wins together. Let us know what you've done to make yourself happy this week.
What makes you happy? It could be anything.
That's right.
Smokey, it could be anything. It could be you got up and made it through 8 hours of work.
We talked about a lot of like things that are tied to purchases. And if that's not an opportunity for you, that's fine. Find the thing that makes you happy with what you have.
Mm-hmm.
It might be chilling in the park for an hour. It might be picking up that book that you've been putting off to finally read. You may have not read a book in years and you want to just read a book. Maybe pick that book up.
Yeah.
You may suck at it. Pick up that fucking art brush and that paint and paint. Make a mess. Who gives a shit?
Spend time with your family. Spend time with your animals.
Yes. Spend time with
love up on your dog. Love up on your cat.
Yes.
Love up on your birds.
That's right, Jim. Love up on your birds.
We should get Jim a bird for his big birthday coming up.
Oh my god.
A parakeet would be nice.
Wouldn't he shit?
If we
bought Jim a parakeet. Cajun on oh my god.
Boys, I got the idea. He's going to listen to this. So we have to be mum's the word, but I have an idea.
Mum is the word.
You won't say another word.
Not another word. But
you won't say another word.
Thank you guys for spending time with us on a Tuesday. We'll be back here in just a couple of days on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, 3 Count Thursday across all platforms. Let us know, but we appreciate you taking the time joining us on Tuesday. We'll see you on Thursday for some talk about Elimination Chamber in the big building in Toronto. But for Matt and Jim that are not here, Ryan, Mark, and myself that are here, we will catch you next time. I don't know what Jim says on the Tuesday shows. He doesn't say go for the pin.
He does. He doesn't. I don't think he should. He shouldn't because this is not wrestling one.
Yeah,
he does, but he doesn't have to.
Yeah. Just live, baby.
Yeah.
Just live.
I feel like we're at a tough spot now. Like we just have to just hit stop, right?
Yeah, we're just gonna hit stop.
No music.
Yeah, we're gonna all of a sudden
we're gonna cut the black.